Do you mind? Do you mind? I'm trying to record. Do you mind? Oh, hey, guys. It's just my cat. He's meowing a lot. He's still alive. He's 18 years old. He's very old. He's going to die soon, probably. It's going to make me very sad. How's everybody doing? It's 2023, right? Yeah, okay. Had to double check. And I haven't made a video in a year, and I usually do this once a year, so I'll do this year right now. I'll try anyway. Um, so I'm gonna just talk about 2023 and how shit it's been. It hasn't been that bad, to be honest. Last year was way worse. This year's been okay. But what sucks this year is that this is the first year that I have officially, for the first time in my life, and probably for the first of many times, that I have felt old. And not like old as in, oh, I don't understand the kids and the TikTok. How come they do the floss? How they do the floss and how are they so on fleek? And who's got the Riz? I know all that shit. All right, who cares? Though I feel physically old. Like my body is fucking not cooperating anymore. And I want to talk about age and time and stuff. That's usually what I do nowadays. I don't talk about games or whatever anymore. Who cares? But I'm going to talk about how all the different ways that my body is fucked up and fucked off over the last year and a half now. So let's get into it. Actually, it's been longer than that. Anyways, let's just talk about shit. The first one, the oldest one, is I have a cyst in my ass. Not in my ass, but at the top of my ass crack, right where my back meets my ass, my back ass. I have a cyst there, and it bleeds a lot, and it gets irritated, and it hurts very frequently, like once a month, give or take. Um, the only real way to get rid of it is to like drain it, and I don't want to do that because it sounds like it hurts. And I brought it up to my doctor, and he was like, actually, no, I brought it up to the female doctor who I saw that one time, who was like on in the office that was instead of my regular doctor, and she was like, yeah, I don't care, basically. And then I learned just last week actually that she died somehow. She seemed totally normal, totally healthy, perfectly fine person, doctor. Just not alive anymore. Interesting how that happens. Reality is that people die, and I'm starting to feel it. And I know my cat's gonna die probably. He has not like it's not like he's fucked up physically or anything like that. He just has like a little sniffle problem, and he's like really slow, and he doesn't really doesn't really know what's going on all the time. He kind of wanders around and just howls. He never used to do that, so he's getting old. Like that's just the thing that happens when cats get old. He's 18. What do you expect? Anyways, back to me. Um, so I got that cyst. The next thing that happened, I've had that for like 5 years. The next thing that happened was I had what I assumed was a hemorrhoid, and that was like 4 years. Now I've had that, and I realized, wait a second, this hasn't gone away in 4 years. Hemorrhoids are supposed to go away in 4 years. So I went to my doctor just last week actually, and he said, "Why don't I take a look?" And I was like, "Oh well, I mean, better you than the other lady." So I was like, "Sure." And he looked and he was like, "Oh, that's not a hemorrhoid. That's an anal fissure." I was like, "What the fuck is that?" It's a tear in the wall of your ass because it tears sometimes and it never goes away unless you deal with it. Well, it goes away, but then it like re-tears the same spot. You just a never-ending cycle. So you have to get it looked at. So I'm taking stuff to put up my ass. As you get older, as you understand, you have to do increasingly more disgusting things to your body in order to keep it functioning. I've learned. I am 31 now, by the way, and that's the first time I've ever felt super old. Is the first time I ever felt super old was when I was 24. That was like the big one. That was the one that like gave me existential issues for like a couple of years there. But 31 is like, damn. I guess I'm well into my 30s now. Here we go, 30 time. What's next? What other stupid shit happened to me? Oh, right. This is actually even before the hemorrhoid was. I got super sick, the sickest I've ever been in my entire life. I got very sick. Wasn't coronavirus. I think this was like 2017 or something like that. It wasn't COVID. Um, it made me as sick as I've ever been in my life. I felt like I was going to die every single day, all day for 3 weeks almost. And it left me with a permanent clicking of my ear, which in turn, I realized just about this year, has turned into a permanent clicking of my jaw hinge bone. My jaw hinge now clicks when I open my mouth too wide. And that's directly tied to my ear because that's the exact same spot where my ear was fucked up from that giant, horrible flu I had. So that happened as well. That's permanent damage number 3. Well, I don't know if it's permanent, the hemorrhoid or whatever the fuck the anal hole. You know what I'm talking about. I don't think that's permanent, but and the cyst I can get rid of too. But fuck that. I don't want to. Hey, can you look at my ass twice? Nobody wants to do that. So after that, after the cold and the flu and the ass twice problems, now we're gonna move on to COVID. When actually COVID happened, and I didn't get COVID, but I did take the vaccine, and I'm like 90 fucking 9% sure that this next problem was caused by the vaccine. I'm anti-vax now, guys. I don't like taking medicine or whatever. So, that's just what they say. If you had a problem with the vaccine and you were like, "Hey, how come this vaccine fucked me up and I never had this problem before the vaccine?" Well, you're just anti-vax now. Don't even ask questions. Trust the science, bitch. The science hasn't existed for longer than 8 months, but you know, in this field, 8 months is basically the new 10 years, right? Anyway, I'm not going to get into the vaccine shit. But when I first got my first vaccine, it was a two-parter, like most people experienced. The first vaccine sucked a lot and caused all the issues. The second one was actually totally fine. The first one I got basically fucked up every limb or every joint in my body on the opposite side of where I got the vaccine. So I got it in the left arm, my right shoulder, my right elbow, my right wrist, my right hip, my right knee, and my right ankle were all on fire for like 2 days straight. And that sucked. I could barely move anything on that side. And I don't know what the fuck that was. They all eventually went away, except for my right hip, which now is like clunks whenever I lift my leg too high or something. Like it feels weird. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's a weird clunking thing that happens now with my joint that never used to happen before. It might cause problems down the line. I don't know. I never actually like got this diagnosed or looked at it, but I don't know. We'll see what happens when the time comes, which it might happen. Another issue that I've had for literally decades now is I'm a habitual thumb sucker. If I'm just sitting at my desk, I always have one arm propped up, and that arm always has my hand up to my face, and my face is always trying to fucking eat my hand. That's just what I do. It's a habitual thing. It's a thing I can't control. It sucks ass, and I do my best to catch myself whenever it happens. However, in doing that, every single part of every single finger on every single left hand has little bumps on it now, and these bumps don't really do anything. They're just like collections of dead skin that like bubble to the surface or something like that. I can like shear off to a certain point. Um, but they get like kind of crispy and weird, and there's definitely a new one on my ring finger that is like causing issues. My thumb now clicks all the time. It's been like that for forever, so I'm kind of used to it at this point. But yeah, don't suck your thumbs, folks. That's not what you're supposed to do with those. You're supposed to use your hands for grabbing and pulling stuff. Okay, so what's next? Oh yeah, the next thing that happened was you guys know what floaters are? You know what eye floaters are? Well, I now know what they are, and they fucking suck ass. Every time I even like take half a second of my life to notice them, which is all the time, they drive me fucking insane. Basically, there's little spots in your eyes when your eyes get older, and the shit in your eyes that make up how your eye is formed breaks down into like a liquid. The goo that was used to be there, that is now a liquid, kind of like leaves little traces of goo in the liquid, and it stays there forever as eye floaters, and they're just always casting shadows over everything you see, and they kind of swirl around, and they're super annoying. I don't even want to get into it. It's so fucking annoying. It's literally, I think, the most annoying thing that I deal with day to day. Again, there's no pain involved. It's just super fucked up and annoying. And they interfere in things. I keep thinking that I see bugs when I don't see bugs. They're not like the worst floaters. I know people have like spider webs all over their fucking eyes from this shit. I just have like two spots. One is big and thick in my left eye that is like kind of dead center, and one is very spread out and thin, but a lot bigger in my right eye. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of all over the place. It's not really in the center. It's kind of like bottom left of my vision. Anyways, you don't care about that. Let's move on to the next thing. I have oh, that's really loud on the Audacity. I don't know why that peaked so loud. I have what we call a lipoma or a lipoma. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's a lipoma. Basically, they are benign fatty tumors, and I think I have multiple, but I know I have at least one. They are in my chest, right in my titty region. At least one is. You could easily feel it if you feel around, if you grab a cup of feel, as they say. Uh, the first week I had it, I felt like it was pressing against a nerve or something, and it was like constantly just annoying me all the time. And I remember I was laying in bed and I like pulled myself back to like adjust myself in my shitty bed, and I like pulled something right where the lipoma was, and I felt like something popped. It was a weird feeling. It felt like my bone became hollow for a second, cracked, and then became totally solid and full again. It was like a glow stick essentially. It felt weird. I hated it. I've had weird like phantom pains there ever since. That was about a year and a half ago now. Yeah, and on the right side as well, there's been stuff too, but whatever. On the positive side, to get to a positive thing before I get to the last thing, which is kind of the strangest one of them all, I've actually been losing weight. I've been on a very strict diet. I've been working out all the time, and I'm down at almost 40 pounds now from my heaviest, which, well, I don't know if it was my heaviest, but I'm assuming I started at around 300, just give or take from just my mathing it out. I didn't have a scale, so I couldn't weigh myself for the first 2 months. But a month, 2 months ago, yeah, it's been about 4 months now. I've been on this diet. So 2 months ago, I got a scale and was able to actually weigh myself, and I was at like 275, something like that. So yeah, and then I've just continued on, and I'm at about 261 now. So I'm cutting it down. I'm almost down 40 pounds. We're getting there. I don't know how long. What did I say I was down before? Whatever. I'm 40 pounds down, give or take. That's what the math is. I was about 300, give or take. I'm 261, which is 40, give or take. All right. Fuck you. I don't know. Whatever. So that's a positive thing. I feel a little better. I feel like, I can walk up hills a little bit better now. That's nice. I like doing that. Um, yeah, it's nice to be in shape. I don't know why the fuck it took me so long. Until I was 31 to actually like, hey, why don't I actually get in shape so I don't, die from horrible stagnation and my body deciding to shut down. I should like get in shape a little bit. Or at least, since I'm getting old and I'm gonna fucking, get ugly and disgusting in the next like 10 years, why don't I have like maybe 2 years of decent hotness to me going on. Get all fucking swole and bulk and fucking lift shit and have muscles and shit. It's weird. I have like biceps now. I've never had full on visible biceps in my life. It's always been just a fucking sludge area there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, fellow chubsters. But that will round it out to the final thing, which is all of last year sucked ass. All of it. Start to finish. Hated it. Had no fun. Worst year of my life besides the other one, 2004, I think it was. Yeah, horrible. I should make like a full year of my life, year by year tier list. Tier lists, the YouTube content people do. I should do that. That's a good content idea, but it requires Vegas, which I don't have anymore, and I can't get it anymore. And if anyone knows how to fucking get Sony Vegas, please let me know. Anyways, I've torrented it like fucking at least, not even kidding, 20 times over my life, and I can't find it anymore. It's just not anywhere. Anyways, the final thing, since last year sucked so hard, and I don't have a lot of fun in that entire year. I didn't have any fun, I should say. You know how I talk. Shut up. Uh, I started losing my hair, and that's something that I was like worried that might happen, and I'm starting to actually see the effects now. Like the start of this year, I started to see it, and then it just slowly became a little bit more apparent over time. I'm not losing it too bad, and especially since I have like really thick hair in general, it's really hard to notice if it's like kind of like pushed down a little bit. But I kind of have that Zoomer thing now, where it's like the Zoomers have to have their hair in a certain way, and if they don't, you can see they're the product of the most balding generation of all time. So that you can see it if you just pull their hair back a little bit. I kind of have that going on for me now, but it's weird because my entire family doesn't have hair thinning or balding or receding hairlines or anything like that. This is purely from like stress, and I thought I handled stress pretty well. I thought I was good at like just being a bulwark against all the stress shit that everyone was like, ah, I'm so stressed. Oh, I have all these stress issues. I have anxiety. I thought I was like, fuck you. I can deal with stress. I'm a stress dealer. And then all of last year happened, and now all of a sudden, my hair is thinning in the front, and it's fucking annoying. I'm not sure what to do about that. I don't know if there's an actual plan for it or anything you can do about it besides like getting hair plugs or whatever, which looks horrifying if you've actually seen videos of it. I don't want to do that. Um, so maybe I'll just be like, I'll just Heihachi it, I'll just fucking shave it all back and do the fucking flare out on the sides. That looks cool to me. Whatever. I'll do the skullet, Hulk Hogan it up. Whatever. It's really not that bad though. Like you cannot tell unless you like lift the hair up a little bit, and then you can fucking see. It's like, oh, it's kind of thinning there, isn't it? But yeah, every time I look at the mirror now, I'm always like focusing on it, like, oh, is it worse? Is it better? Is it getting worse? Oh, geez, I'm one of those people about it. But it really doesn't matter. Like I've never cared about my physical appearance that much. I've always worn like stained shirts with like cat hair on it out just fucking shopping or whatever. So it's who cares, right? I don't really mind. And I've never brushed my hair. I've never cared for it. I've never done anything besides use like Head and Shoulders twice a week, and that's it. Like that's all I've ever done with it. I also cut it myself, but it's neither here nor there. So there's all the issues. Talking about myself as usual, because what happens on this channel anymore, right? This is a dead channel. YouTube is trash. Every single piece of media I've ever liked in my life is being fucking cannibalized, and I have nothing to live for, and I have no one to talk to, and I'm actually totally okay with it because I'm burying all of my sorrows in creative outlets. I'm channeling it into creativity, and we're all having fun, Bob Ross. Thank you so much for your service, Coach Couch.